I will not vaccinate my child because it can cause autism. Hello people and welcome back to Chatterdocs. In this channel, we believe that learning health does not have to be boring. Now, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to our channel and also turning on the notification so you will never miss anything. There are people who believe that vaccines can be very harmful and they call themselves anti-vaxxers with 2 X's. Wait. When did the first anti-vaxxer appear? Well, probably as soon as the first vaccine appeared, and this is true. Back in time, there was a deadly disease called smallpox. In 1978, Edward Jenner, who was a British physician scientist, found out that by inoculating a 13-year-old boy with cowpox virus, which was a disease in the cows, he could prevent smallpox disease in the humans. How did he figure this out? I don't fucking know. But what's important is that he figured this out and he basically invented the first vaccine. At first, as expected, he got criticized a lot because people basically found it disgusting. Mr. Jenner, why in bloody hell would you give the microbe from a sick bloody cow to my bloody child? That's disgusting. Years later, smallpox became the very first and the only infectious disease in the world to be completely eradicated. So he saved so many lives. But how do vaccines work? Well, probably you all know this. We basically give a healthy person a killed or weakened microbe or a part of a microbe or even like the toxins of the microbe. And then her immune system starts making antibodies and cells against that microbe, so it becomes prepared if at any time the real infection hits. This has been shown the most effective way to boost your immune system against certain virus and bacteria and other microbes. To date, a lot of different vaccines have been developed against different diseases and they're being given to children and adults. Vaccines like polio, measles, mumps, rubella, diphtheria, pertussis, hepatitis, and so on and so forth. So why do few people think that vaccines are harmful? They are a hoax, they should not be mandatory, my body, my choice in this case, and so on. In fact, they are not even too few. In a recent survey, about 20% of Americans believe that vaccines are not safe. Well, I do agree, any medicine can have some harm, like anyone can show allergic reaction to the material or other reactions in his body. But of course, we always recommend the medicine or a vaccine if the benefits are thought to be outweighing the harms and those incidents are basically too few to consider. But it's different when a parent basically say no vaccines to my child because of what I believe. And that belief is mainly because they think vaccines can cause autism. Wait, what? Where did that come from? This myth, and I repeat, myth, started in 1998 when Andrew Wakefield and his colleagues published an article in Lancet and proved that MMR vaccine or measles, mumps, rubella can cause autism in children. Everyone was like, what? Why no? Stop vaccinating my children. But basically that study was very faulty. First off, he only had 12 people as his sample. Secondly, he had selection bias and his sample was not selected based on correct scientific ways. Immediately after publishing that article, the scientific community, who got very worried, started to run more and more studies and epidemiological analysis. And they found no connection between MMR vaccine or any other vaccine and autism. Later on, Lancet admitted that this study was very faulty and they retracted the article. Wakefield and his colleagues were held guilty for ethical violation and scientific misrepresentation. So even though that study was found to be a complete fraud and it was retracted and the author of the study was banned from practicing medicine, still so many people are still holding onto that false belief. In fact, a lot of celebrities and politicians go on media and on internet and they say, oh, no vaccines are no good, they cause autism, blah blah blah. Basically, it's a conspiracy theory, right? And false information and conspiracy theories travel 6 times faster on the internet because people are stupid. I'm sorry, my friend, but the world is full of stupid people. No one is looking for sound, nice, neat, and correct news and information. Everyone's hungry for bad news and false information and conspiracy theories, and internet is now full of shit. The results are horrible because so many parents are now refusing to get MMR vaccine for their children, and so many other parents are also complete anti-vaxxers, meaning that they don't want any vaccine to be given to their children. Yeah, they get all the information from the internet and internet loves conspiracy theories. As a result, well, you can tell what's the result. We have had measles under nearly complete control in the United States, but unfortunately, in the recent years, because of a lot of children not being vaccinated with MMR after that shitty article, we are seeing a lot of measles epidemics around the country. Remember, when parents refuse to give vaccines to their children, it's not only putting their child at risk, but also putting everybody else that are in contact with that child at risk throughout the years. So they alone can cause emerging of new epidemics of the disease and potentially a lot of mortalities and morbidities. Remember, we're living in an era with a global disaster that can be only ended with an effective vaccine. So everyone's trying hard to find that vaccine and make it, but surprisingly still, there are anti-vaxxers around who even don't believe in COVID vaccine if it's found. So what can we do as a citizen? First off, it's important to realize that standard vaccines are safe and healthy. As you can see right now in the process of making coronavirus vaccine, a lot of studies and trials and tests happens before a vaccine is approved to be given to people. And the whole point of all those extensive trials are to prove that the vaccine is effective and is not harmful. I understand sometimes, somewhere, some reactions may happen. And believe me, so many people refuse vaccines because they have had a friend or a family member or a neighbor of the family member of my cat has gotten such and such an allergic reaction to a vaccine, so I'm not giving vaccines to my children. This is so stupid. This is basically as stupid as saying like, I have a friend who crashed his car and died, so I'm not gonna drive anymore. Another important thing that we can do is always obtain information from credible sources, especially when it comes to healthcare. Remember, internet is filled with misinformation and false news. False news. Everything is false news. All the internet, the .com is false news. So I understand it sometimes becomes very hard to know what's true and what's not. So pay attention to the source of your information. Make sure you get healthcare related information only from people who are expert in healthcare, meaning doctors, nurses, or scientists who are doing that for a living. Not an Instagram influencer or a TikTok dancer or a TV host or someone. If you're reading up online about any disease or conditions or medication or vaccines, make sure the website that you're referring to is a credible authority in medicine, like the university's website or UpToDate. Well, even that can sometimes be misinformation, like the Wakefield study that I talked about, which can cause a lot of disaster for years and years afterwards. So basically, we're fucked. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment below and tell me if you have had an interaction with an anti-vaxxer. Also, if you are an anti-vaxxer, I hope I changed your mind. Again, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and also watch my other videos here and here. Take care.